Hello everyone. Today I was thinking I would do something very simple. Well, something I've wanted to try for a while. So this is something that I got at a Goodwill, I think. It's either a Goodwill or a Savers. But it has the Liquitex Basics acrylic in it. And what it has is it has different mediums that you can mix your paints with. So it has gesso, gloss gel, modeling paste, iridescent mediums, and coarse texture mediums. So it says the gesso does the opaque matte white ground. So I've seen that before. It's also supposed to make the paint a little bit more swishy. The gloss gel medium, a colorless acrylic gel. Modeling paste, an opaque paste for a 3D effect. Iridescent medium, which is like a reflective metallic medium. And coarse texture medium is just supposed to give it a grainy effect, and then it has some pictures of it here. I have always heard people using gessos. Like, for example, I watch another artist named Denise Love, and she uses gessos all the time instead of white. And she says that it actually makes her paints move better. But I myself have never tried anything like that before. Now, chances are this is probably maybe a used set. So I'm not really sure what condition these are in or if they're even viable. But I did want to go ahead and try them. And what I was thinking is I could do like a rainbow page of where I do one of each, but like with each color. So I was thinking that that would be a fun idea. And because of that, I'm gonna put it in my swatch book. So I think that'll be pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn to my first unused page in my swatch book, and we're gonna put, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna write what the type it is. So I'm gonna put that this is medium swatches. Mediums plus paint swatches. Like this. And if you do hear anything in the background, my husband and my son are playing games together, so no worries. So the first one we'll do is, let's see here, I'm looking to see what we've got here. So we'll put gesso first, gesso, and then gloss gel, modeling paste, iridescent, and then coarse. Just like that. So I'll know exactly which ones are which. And then what I've got here is I've just got a Roy G. Biv of Liquitex colors that I can try them with. So I've got all of these different ones. Now between, you're gonna see me washing things. I may have to pause to wash stuff a few times. Like I'm gonna have to pause and get some water so that I can rinse off my brushes here in a moment. But we will try this together, and I just thought that this would be really cool to kind of see how these different mediums might work. All right, so give me a moment to prepare and then I'll be ready. All right, so the first color I am gonna start with is red. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of red paint here. I'm just using a coffee lid. So I don't wanna use too much because I'm really just gonna make 5 dots with it. So I've got that. And then I'm gonna start with the gesso. Oh no, it just like spilled out. Okay. Wasn't really looking to get a whole bunch of that, but all right. So what we'll do is we'll take some of this and we'll take some red, and I'm gonna mix it together.
Are you seeing those ones? I get those that are not.
And then I'm just gonna do like a circle of it. So it is very smooth and velvety, I'm noticing. A lot smoother than acrylic usually is, it feels like, so that's pretty cool. So I've got enough of that. I'm gonna rinse it off. And then while that is rinsing, I'm gonna go ahead and put some of the gel medium down. Not a whole bunch, but just enough to where I can get all the colors in it.
What did I do?
Okay. So then
Daddy.
I'm just gonna wipe off my brush so that nothing on it is gonna affect it. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my gel and some more red. I'm gonna definitely have to put more red down. And I'm gonna stir it up.
I wonder what kind of video she's
You know, it might work better if I put this on something else. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna wipe this off and try again. I don't think that this is gonna work out the way that I wanted it to. So what I'll do instead is I'm gonna set that to the side, and maybe I can put some on like some tissue paper. Maybe that might be a little bit easier. So I'm gonna try again here. Let's do, I'm gonna put the red right here. And then let's put some of this gel over to the side. It's kind of runny-ish, but I can see why it's considered a gel. Probably go ahead and put some extra gesso out. Ooh, God, the gesso is runny. I don't know if gesso is supposed to be that runny, but I kind of think so because, I mean, it's to make it runny, so I'm sure that's fine. But like I said, I have no idea how old these things are. I just know they were there. So, let me go ahead and rinse that off. Okay, and then I'm just gonna take a little bit of the gel and I'm gonna set it there. And a little bit of that red. I'm gonna mix it. Okay. And I'm gonna try it on my paper. So in this, it kind of makes it slippery too, and in a way, it's making it more translucent to me too, looking at it like that. Okay, so now we can try putting down some of the modeling paste. I can see that the modeling paste is very thick in here. Ugh, very hard to squish out. So I'm gonna flip out a generous bit because I'm hoping that I'm getting enough out so I can use it with all my colors here. Okay. So let me try that. Let's do some of the modeling paste next to the red and just kind of go for it. I'm just gonna mix it up real good. That makes it thick and gooey. Okay. So I've got the modeling paste in there and you can see how it's a little bit thicker.
Squish it.
Get it all up in there.
Squish it, come back.
And that one, it seems like it's really thick on your brush.
Mommy.
So I've got that in there. And then next is the iridescent one. So I'm gonna put my iridescent, ooh, that popped right out too. Okay, and oh, and I can see it's very shiny, very nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna take some of that and pop it up here and get some red and mix that together. Yeah, I can see what it means by metallic. It's interesting. So it kind of gives it like a glittery look to it. So instead of buying a glitter paint, you can just do it yourself, it looks like. And then this last one is supposed to be a coarse medium texture, so it's supposed to get gritty. Ew, it looks gritty. It looks like toothpaste. Yeah, it looks like toothpaste running. Gross. Okay.
What video are you talking about?
So I'm just gonna grab a bit of that and mix that up together, and it does give it a bit of a grit. You can definitely see it, how coarse it is. So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just do it with all the colors so I can kind of get an idea of what these colors would look like and what these mediums might do with my art.
Yep.
So I've got that one. Next, I'm gonna do the orange. So I'm just gonna put a bit of orange here.
I wonder where you're going.
And some of these are very used, so I might not have a whole bunch of the color in there, so I'm trying to just get at least a little bit in there.
There should be a big there.
I might do some of the mixing on the page, because that might make more sense. So here's the gesso.
This is a sword.
I'm just gonna pop it there, and I'm gonna take this orange.
Yep.
So there it is with the gesso.
Well, 'cause we need money.
Yeah, you're gonna see it. How much your mark?
And then
And make it close.
I'm gonna take this gloss gel and pop it there.
Squish it.
Maybe a little bit more than that.
Squishy, Daddy.
And then some orange.
Yeah, can't you be it, Daddy?
Well, not anymore, apparently.
Why?
Oh, they passed it.
Uh-oh.
Just like that.
Guard. There's guard.
Not
There.
anymore.
The chest.
Okay, I'm gonna take some of that modeling paste. Stick it there. Get some orange. Very thick. The modeling paste is one I think that said it was supposed to give you kind of like a 3D element, so that probably makes plenty of sense. Really like the iridescent one so far because I can even see that glitter in there. Like if I move the page up and down, like I'm gonna try to get a little bit closer to the camera, but you can see the iridescence. So I'm excited to see what the orange looks like with that.
Screw it, I need you to sit back, dude.
Okay.
Daddy can't see.
So here's the iridescent. Get some orange with it. Mix her all up there. Looks nice. Get some grit. Probably don't need too much grit because it looks like it's pretty gritty. Now that gritty would be an interesting texture on a collage, I think. That could be kind of interesting in like a background or something. Yeah, I think that's how we're gonna do this. Or just scoop and do it on the page. Okay, now we need yellow. This one I'm gonna have to kind of twirl it a bit because I don't think I have very much of this regular yellow. I didn't want to use like an orangey yellow because
If you put your hands up again, you're getting down.
I just wanted to use just like a regular yellow. There we go. A little bit of yellow. See what we can do with that. Okay. So now I'm gonna grab the gesso again, slop it on the page and get some yellow. I think the gesso is really fun to mix, honestly. I like how smooth that is. I might start having to use some gesso in my work.
Man, the storm's headed towards us. And
So then we've got this gel medium. So far the gel medium I'm not really liking that much.
I hope we
It's
win
kind of
this
like wiping boogers in your paint, if I may say. It's like
day.
really slick and translucent. I don't really see myself using that one very often, if at all, because I'm not really liking how you can see through that. Like, yeah, it makes it a little bit, I would say, more movable, but not in the ways that I would want. Modeling clay is interesting. I like how thick it is. That might be good for every once in a while. I have some cutouts where where they're like reused ones from old stuff, like that 100-year journal I did, for example, that I had deconstructed. That might be nice to have backgrounds that are also thick too, because sometimes you can't get all that paper off the back, so then it looks kind of weird because it's like a different height than the rest of the page. So having a thicker paint might actually be kind of nice for something like that. So I do kind of like that as a different texture. And like I said, I love the iridescence. There's not a question about that. And the grits. The only one I'm not really feeling right now is that gel one. And I could be using it wrong. If I am, let me know. Not an expert. But this is something that I had written down that I wanted to try in my Society of Idea Collectors book. So that was one of the notes that I had written down that I wanted to try from watching other artists, was different types of mediums, just to see what kind of textures I like, because I am kind of I've noticed a textury person. I do like to put things like doilies or like embellishments in my artwork. So I don't see why I can't embellish with paint. That would be fine. Here's some grit, some more yellow. Whoa, that one's really gritty. It reminds me of whenever you're mixing like flour and water in a way, like how gritty it gets at first. That's kind of the texture I'm seeing with that. Kind of cool. Okay, so that's the yellow. We'll get some green. There we go. Okay. And I'm gonna grab some of that gesso and slip it on the paper. And get some green. Oops, don't know that I need that much, but it's okay. It's one of the things I gotta work on, is grabbing less of things, because I think sometimes I just kind of scoop and go. That's not quite what we need. Okay. So then I'm gonna do the gel. Some green. My water is already like, what are you doing? It just looks like liquid ketchup. So attractive. Yum. Not. Alright, so here's the modeling clay one. Get some green. That's so cool how like it just like thickens it up immediately. Really cool. Very thick. Makes it look kind of like Play-Doh in a way.
I hope you win today.
Okay.
Oh, Daddy, go.
Then we've got our iridescent
Oh, Daddy, go.
and some green. gives that bit of sparkle. And then our gritty. Okay. So now we can move on to blue. Looks like we're gonna need a little bit more gel and a bit more of the modeling one. Whoa, that one didn't want to come open. So let's do a hint blue here. And then I'll go ahead and get some more of that gel. Try not to push too hard on these because they're very runny. The first two were. Okay. And then this one was not runny though. So this one I'm just gonna have to push as hard as I can. Because it is very thick. There it goes. Okay. So for the blue, oh, I don't have all the green out of my brush yet. Yuck. All right. So for the blue, we've got the gesso. Looks pretty cool. And then I'm gonna take the gel. Almost dip that back in the green. Okay. Then we've got the modeling one. It's gonna get real nice and thick. Here we go.
Dad, we better give the storm circle.
And then we need our iridescence. Some blue. Give it that really pretty color there.
We went to the Boss's Island.
Gives it just like a sheen. And then we need our nitty gritty here. And that looks, something about the grittiness just reminds me of something, and I can't think of what it is, like whether it be sand and water, whatever it is, it definitely reminds me of something. Okay, so then we've got two more colors, so we just got purple and blue left, so we're gonna do those. Because I wanted to Roy G. Biv. So we got a purple and what I would consider an indigo. Here we go. That is not enough purple probably. Let's do a little bit more. There we go. That's better. Change up the towel. Okay, so we're gonna get our gesso and some purple. Looks pretty good. Some gel and some purple. The modeling clay and the purple. Uh-oh, Ronan, I just heard you yawn.
Which one goes straight to your room?
Don't need to go.
Come on, let's go.
Some iridescent.
We're going up.
Remember to put your name, Daddy.
Go.
And then lastly, we've got this gritty stuff with the purple.
Go, please.
Okay. And then our last color we're gonna do is indigo, which is a dark blue. When I think of indigo, I think of it as that purpley blue color in a way. I just went ahead and chose a dark blue here. So I'm just gonna stir that up again. Now it looks like peanut butter water. Ew. Gross. All right. So I've got just a bit of gesso left here. I think I can get away with just that. Yeah. That'll do, Lottie, that'll do. All right. We've got our gel in the blue. The modeling clay in the blue. And then we've got the iridescent and blue. I just realized it wasn't in frame, I'm sorry. There we go. And then lastly is the grit and the blue. So I think that gives us a really cool page with some ideas on it. Of what mediums like could turn into cool things. So I'm just gonna lift it up here so I can show it to you. Very cool. And then just give me a moment to clean this up and I'll bring out our next thing to test. All right, so these are mostly dry now and it's kind of interesting. I wanted to touch them and see like how they feel differently. It's kind of cool, the grit one and this like puffy one, this almost turns into puffy paint whenever you use the modeling paste, which is really cool. The gel one is not quite dry on some of these, like that one just smeared a little bit, but the rest of them are. So I think the gel just must take a little bit longer to dry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip to my next page. But while I do that, I am going to put a piece of cookie paper on one side. That way it doesn't smush onto the next page like that. Okay. And in this journal, I try to just do it on one side unless it's like multiple of the same thing. So what I'm going to do next is I have these Jupiter ones. Jupiter art, and I've seen some people use them. I'm just going to do a line of each, but I'm also going to try to number them at the same time because I don't have any way of knowing what color these are because it doesn't say. So I'm hoping, let's test this Sharpie on here. Yeah, so it's going to let me number them. So I'm just going to do that one as 1. And then go through here. So first let me just go ahead and write down what I am testing here. So these are Jupiter Art Tempura, or Tempera, sorry, I keep saying tempura as if it's sushi. Paint Sticks Okay, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with number 1. And then these are supposed to dry like acrylic paints. So let's see how to get it open. Okay, like that. And then it's already pushed up, it looks like. So I'm just going to start here and go all the way over like that. So we've got 1. Then I've got number 2. I'm sorry, this might be a little tedious probably, but that's okay. I like how these kind of remind me of like chapstick in a weird way, but like, I don't know. Oh, I can see why parents would like these. They're not very messy, it seems. But apparently this just adds some textures and stuff to your artwork as well, which makes it fun. So I am quite excited to use these as well. The other artist who I mentioned, Denise Love, she recently did one where it looked like desert flowers. I would love to make a similar picture. And one of the things that she used was these paint sticks. So I would like to definitely try them out. Oh, that's a very pretty color. I like that. And it kind of reminds me of a crayon in a way too, how it runs, because you can kind of see the paper in between still. So it's not a thick line necessarily, it's a kind of like a crown type line in a way, but much slicker, which is cool. Okay, so then we've got number 4. And this one might end up being a couple pages, we'll have to see. And as I'm going, I'm writing down a number on the stick as well, that way I know what exactly I tested. Otherwise I would just be like drawing on here, and there's some of these blues in here that look pretty darn similar. Okay, yeah, I'm glad I tested that one out, because if I would have just looked at this one, I would not have realized that color. And this one actually has a shimmer to it, which I'm not really sure if it's showing up on the camera or not, but it definitely has a sheen to it. So there must be some shimmery ones in here as well. Okay, so number 5. Does anybody else number theirs too? Yep. Here we go. That way you can tell what they are, or do you have a different way of swatching these? Let me know. I definitely understand what Denise was saying about feeling like she was playing with lipstick in a way. It does kind of have that lipstick feel to it. That's kind of funny. 6. So I've got my ATC cards done for Dee Dee Willingham and Janet M. Young's art swap that they were doing. So now I'm probably going to be playing a lot more. Like right now I'm doing swatches, of course. But I'm off this week, so I was thinking I could do some other art videos too. Oops, that line got a little close to that one, but that happens. Like I did just go to a kind of a consignment shop and got a bunch of really old cards, like greeting cards I'm excited to play with, because I love recreating things with old thrown away things, really. As my husband says, I like paper. He's not wrong. Not wrong. So I have a whole bunch of really cool paper cards, and one of them that I actually got today was kind of a like Red Riding Hood meets the wolf, which is really cool. Like, let me see if I can find, oh, I actually have it sitting right next to me, I think. Hold on. Because it was really cool. Yeah. One of the ones I got was this one. And if you see, it's got a really old Red Riding Hood. This is the wolf. This is the wolf dressed up as the sheep. The wolf dressed up as the grandma. And then on the other side, there's a bunch of cats. So I loved that. Like, I love old pieces of paper, I guess you could say. So I will definitely be creating something cool with that soon. But yeah, I love illustrations. I think that's what I'm actually in love with, is illustrations, because as a child I used to really enjoy the different art styles that artists would put in their books and stuff. So I am very attracted to pieces of art that are illustrative or imaginative like that. So I couldn't go without it. Here's number 8. Pretty cool. Number 9. Kind of like one of my videos is of like a vintage girl that has like a huge headdress on, and that was originally 2 different like old-fashioned cards, like greeting cards that I put together. So I really enjoy stuff like that. Wow, that is highlighter orange. Would you have realized that was highlighter orange by looking at that? I sure wouldn't have. So that's why it's always good to see what we got going on here. So let's do 10. That's kind of like a canary yellow. Line didn't really do what I thought it was going to do. It's okay. Okay, and then we've got 11. This one I think is going to be a highlighter yellow. So I think it should be quite a bit lighter than what this is leading us to believe. Oh no, I put the 0.1 on there. I didn't really want to do that. Whatever. We'll scribble it out. Roar. We didn't write that there. We were writing 11. Yeah, nice highlighter yellow. Pretty bright. Oh no, I got it on my finger. Doesn't hurt, it's okay. All right. 12. So it's like a tweedy yellow is what I would call that one. Oops. Wrong pen. Here's number 13. That one's more of an orange than a yellow. I wouldn't have thought that. Probably should have went up here in the oranges, but that's okay. 14. So that's more of a golder color. Okay, and then we're gonna have 15. 16. Pretty green. 17. That one's like an Easter basket kind of green. 18. And lastly, 19. Okay, so this one actually has some glitter in it, but I would not have been able to tell what color green that was. That I thought was going to be similar to this one, because look at how close these cases look. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put a cookie sheet between here too. This is supposed to dry just like acrylic paint, so it's not supposed to do anything. In fact, it's not doing anything. But just in case, we're gonna put that in there, because who knows what will happen when we flatten it. And I am gonna do the back side of this one. So we're gonna start with 20. Number it out to about 24 there. So this one's going to be number 20. This one will be 21. Yeah, it's really light compared to that. This one is going to be 22. $23. $24. This box say? Oh, I threw away the box, of course. I think there's supposed to be 36 colors, but we'll see. So this one's gonna be 25. Once again, this one looks very close in color to the one that we just looked at, but I bet they're gonna be two completely different colors. So let's see. Yeah, that's different. That's more of like a true blue in my opinion, like a real blue. Okay, so then we've got 26. And the reason why it's doing that wiggly part is because I have already drawn on the back of this, so it's kind of struggling a little bit, but I can see the colors, so I'm not worried about it. 27. $28. $29. That's very similar to 27 in a way. And 30. Yeah, it's a 36 set. Okay. Now it's a dark purple. Okay. Oh, I see. This one has the glitter in it. That's why. 29 has glitter in it. Okay. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. So we've got 31, which looks like a silver. Oh yeah, that's very silvery, very shiny. $32. Oh, I wasn't expecting that one to be a brown. Okay, I thought that was a gray. The way it looked was so gray. Okay, well then maybe I will switch black and white to be last then and do this. So we'll make this one 33. Gold is going to be 34. Phew, excuse me. White is 35. And then lastly, our 36 is going to be black, and this is, I'm barely going to be able to see it, but it'll be there. There we go. 36. Yeah, and the only reason why it's doing that, where it looks like it's not doing it super hard, is just because it's feeling the texture on the other side of the page. Otherwise, it would do it like this. So next time I know not to do it on the back of something that has already been done. So this one, those I probably would not use in my art journal, for example, and would only use in like an actual piece of art or something. Or if I do it in an art journal, do it on something that's already layered. But just again, to remind us of what we have done today, we've got, oh, yep. Ooh. We did our art circles with gesso, gloss gel, modeling paint, iridescent, and coarse mediums. And then we did our tempura sticks. So we got Jupiter Art tempura sticks there and there. And that does it for this video, just short and sweet. Thank you for watching. Bye.